Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Backyard Buckets. And today we are doing my favorite team, the Charlotte Hornets, their preview for the 2020-2021 NBA season. But before we get started, make sure to like, it only takes a second of your time, and subscribe, really helps us out. Found out the other day that 60% of the people that watch our videos are not subscribed. So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and do that. It only takes a second out of your time, like I said. And if you like this video at any point, like the video, helps it out in the YouTube algorithm. Helps us get out to more people. But this year, the Charlotte Hornets are going to be an interesting team. Probably going to make the 9 seed for the 16th year in a row. But as most of you know, or as basically every basketball fan in the world knows, the Hornets lucked out, moved up in the lottery 5 spots, ended up with LaMelo Ball. So now they've got a good direction. They've got a franchise piece. And it should be interesting going forward. But this year, I wouldn't expect too much. Also, every basketball fan in the world probably knows that we gave Gordon Hayward $120 million to come play for us for 4 years. He's 30, by the way. But, yeah, there's some stuff we need to talk about, and so let's get going. Starting lineup for the Hornets this year will most likely be LaMelo Ball, and I say Terry Rozier in the backcourt just because he's a better natural scorer than Devontae. Devontae is more like LaMelo, just a bit shorter, but he can shoot a lot better. Probably can score a little better, too, at this point. So I say Rozier at the 2 just because he's a good scorer, really good natural scorer. But a lot of people have Devontae, so it could really go either way. But for this video, I'm going to say Terry Rozier at the 2, Gordon Hayward at the 3, who I mentioned earlier, that we kind of gave a huge bag to, $120 million over the next 4 years, until he's 34 years old. A bit questionable, to say the least. Starting at power forward, now this is where things get a little different. This could be P.J. Washington. It could be Miles Bridges. If there's injuries, it could be Vernon Carey. You never know. But for now, I'm going to say Miles Bridges because James Borrego came out and said that it'll be Washington at the 5 and Bridges at the 4 a lot this year. And so I put Bridges at the 4 and Washington at the 5. You could see Cody Zeller starting at the 5 a lot this year. But, I mean, there's a lot of different ways it could go, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of new faces on the team. Off the bench, like I said, if Rozier does not start the 2, then he will be the point guard off the bench. But if he does, then it'll be Devontae Graham, 6-man, coming off the bench. And I think he'll win 6-man of the year, to be honest, if he comes off the bench. Also got Malik Monk, who went off, and then he got the substance abuse policy or whatever. He was on the weed. But luckily for him, the NBA basically legalized weed this year. So that's good news for him. Also got Cody Martin, Vernon Carey, and then, like I said, it'll depend. Bridges, Washington, whoever starts or doesn't start will come off the bench. And then we also got some reserves as Caleb Martin, who could see some playing time, Jalen McDaniels, who could see some playing time, Nick Richards, and then Grant Ryler, who will probably spend a lot of this season in the G League, similar to Devontae Graham, his path to the league. My projection for this Hornets team is somewhere between the 7 to 10 seed range. Wouldn't surprise me if we're the 9 seed for this, like I said earlier, 16th season in a row. Seems like every year we're the 9 seed. I mean, at this point, I've just come to accept it. But with the play-in game and everything happening, I think we'll definitely be one of the teams in the play-in game. Of course, there's the 5 teams in the East that nobody really thinks has a chance to be in the play-in games. And then there's a few teams like us, some other guys that are kind of borderline, kind of like the Magic. So, yeah. We'll be up there, like the Hawks, too. But we'll probably make the play-in tournament, but I doubt if we do really anything from there. So somewhere in the 7 to 10 seed range. I could see us, maybe Melo and Gordon Hayward come in and provide what we need. Rozier, Devontae's a beast off the bench. Washington balls out in his sophomore season. We could be pretty good, but I don't see that happening. There's a lot of upside, but I don't really see it happening. Playoff ceiling is the play-in tournament. X Factor for the Charlotte Hornets, I put Gordon Hayward. for obvious reasons. He's 30, and he just got probably the most money in the offseason other than Anthony Davis and LeBron, or most money out of the free agents this offseason. 120 million over 4 years till he's 34. So he's got to prove he's still worth it, still worth the max contract, and that he can still play and play injury free. Final notes on the Hornets. I think they're a young team with a lot of potential, and they have time. There's a huge window for us. You know, if the Gordon Hayward contract doesn't work out, we can try to deal him somewhere. Probably won't work, but there's no need to rush Melo, Devontae, Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, Miles Bridges, P.J. Washington, Vernon Carey, Cody Martin, Caleb Martin, Malik Monk, Jalen McDaniels, and Nick Richards. No need to rush any of those guys' progression whatsoever. They're all very young. The Hornets are a very young team. One of the youngest franchises in the league. I think tied for the second youngest. So, yeah. There's some stuff to get excited about. That'll be all for today's video. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're new here. Liking and subscribing only takes a second, and it helps us out tremendously. Share it with your friend if you feel like it. If not, it's fine. But come back later. Got another video. Thanks for watching.